Thrand here, and I am here with the long-awaited sword that you voted for. This is the Gallowglass, or the Gallowglass, the Irish or Irish Two-Handed Sword from Medieval Shop. It has the pommel on it, the standard ring pommel you see on a lot of Irish blades, and you see the tang come up through it. And it has a beautiful quillion or crossguard. Now if you look at this, it doesn't have the traditional key pattern that you see on some blades from Ireland, but it's still a beautiful design. Beautiful blade with 3 fullers, and it has a major fuller in the center that is just ever so elegant and shallow, something that's reminiscent of you would see in a actual museum piece, because there's a fuller here. It's not just a flat piece of metal, but it's just ever so elegant when you have the 3 fullers within it. Beautiful blade. It weighs about 4 pounds, a little over 4 pounds, so it's a bit lighter than our famed video with the Claymore. Today what we're going to focus on is with this length of blade, and yes, it's a long blade and a nice hilt or handle, with big sweeping cuts or with powerful cuts. Could you keep more than one man at bay? Would they have a right to be in fear of this blade with large cuts? The famous fencing master, Italian fencing master, Giacomo di Grassi, wrote of how the thrust was superior to all other attacks. But he also brought up that the warriors on the field using the two-handers would swing to strike fear into their enemies, and they'd make these big grandioso swings, whipping the blade back and forth to keep more than one man at bay. It would put them in great fear and danger, supposedly, in their mind. They thought that was better than the thrust. Well, today we're going to find out if that's true, because this is definitely a cutter. It's not tailored just as a thruster, although you could get a good long thrust from it, from the length of it. It would probably even half sword a little bit, but today we've got our 2 heads, Kati special rig, and we're going to see if that's true. If just like we did with the Claymore and we did with the blade recently, would 2 men be in danger of 1 cut? And basically, I believe that's so, but I think with this slightly lighter blade, we may have a different effect. We're going to find out today, so let's get going. What we'll do is we'll still stay within the parameters of fencing with a longsword, and we'll start off in like a wrath stance and cut. And that's what I'm going to try to do, but give it as much power as possible. So forgive me if it seems to be a little bit of a wind-up. I think the man would be dressed in full armor in this type of situation, fighting against unarmored levies or someone without proper protection. And hopefully they would be in great fear for their lives, but if they were lined up like this, possibly it would be devastating for both opponents, and that's what we're about to find out. Oh! Well, we took the top of this head clean off, and we cut into this one. Not bad at all. So look at that in slow-mo again to get a better view of that. It looks like we went clean through the top of this head. We went through the additional spine inside and cut
into his head.
And cut into his head. I was expecting a little more.
It might be because of the weight.
You know what?
You can only accelerate so fast no matter how big the blade is.
Right, we'll have to look at that again in slow-mo and check it out, and maybe do an evaluation afterwards like we've done before. I am impressed. It did do the cut I expected. I just didn't quite go completely in here. I'm wondering if it skipped up.
It may have.
Something hit up here. I'm kind of confused on that one. Okay. We came through and we shaved more of this one off, and then took the top of that one. We did. We took a little more off of this skull here. I was trying to aim right a little bit lower to take more off, so it'd be more impressive. But we took some of this skull off and then came across and hit that one. So most certainly, if you nicked one head like we did with the glaive and went through where we cut into the skull, you could possibly hit somebody standing over here and slice clean through them because it wouldn't slow it down enough.
I still want to put white paint on that blood coming out.
Oh yeah, you can see all the blood. Show them, Kati.
It'd work better with white paint.
This is a very nice two-hander. It's holding up well. Everything's still solid. The blade is perfectly straight.
And if they can't hear you over the thunder, tough shit.
Still sharp, and yeah, we have horrible weather coming in, supposedly. I guess due to these hurricanes and stuff going on, it's pushed the weather this way. And Thor is about.
It looks like it's coming up from the north, southern one. Looks like it's going towards Mexico.
He's brewing in the sky. Let's see what caps we've got here. Let's check it out.
That's the first ones. It's too big for the second.
Oh.
The second one went flying way over here. Second one damn near landed in the kitchen.
Whoa, it almost went through the window into the kitchen. Now, that's entertaining. I'm going to put them back on there because it makes it more entertaining. Think it'll hurt to leave them there as I cut?
No, it should be fine.
I'm going to try, because we do want the double decap, I'm sure. That one was more likely because it's mostly just sinewy ligament and you know, the esophagus and the arteries and so on, and some muscle, mostly just the spine. Where this is the hardest cut possible. So, yeah, if it doesn't go clean through, which even our Claymore didn't, it went through this head and injured this head because they're so close together, but it's the same kind of idea. Oh! Whoa! Coming in from the opposite side, look what it did to the head. We need a close-up of this.
Yep.
So we got bone and blood on the blade. Check out the bone and blood on the blade. Still sharp. And what it did is it went clean through this one with the off-angle cut. But apparently what's going on, this sword, as it goes through the center spine, which it does have an extra spine in here, or a piece that goes up through the head, which wouldn't be there normally. That'd be brain matter, you know, just a gray matter or a
fat.
Yeah, fat. So it would go clean through easier. Is stopping it some. It's allowing it to go through and see what happened. It cracked the other side because of how much force, but yeah.
Looks like it's the back of the jowls all that actually held it on.
Yeah, I think that's all that held it on, just a little bit of flesh. Let's set it back up for fun. You can also see it did damage the other head in the impact. I don't know where the other piece went again, but heal them like we always do. And this one, of course, was beautiful where it took part of this head off and was still able to cut the top of the captain's skull. I'm going to try a more, instead of the off-angle cut on this side that I just did, from like a tog style thing, I will come over here and be real winded up in a wrath style thing when I attack, because that's what they describe. People would swing these swords violently and vigorously in battle so that they can intimidate multiple opponents and then recover quickly, you know, so they can swing again, you know, so they could just keep trying to keep people back, you know, with grandiose swings. You know, that would actually give you an advantage to keeping them in fear, so you might not get somebody rushing in and killing you because they'd be afraid of the blade. Oh! Ah! We cut clean through and into the other head, but it looks like we broke the spine from the amount of force it took to cut through the other head. But I have the blade right here into this one. Beautiful, but that was a lot of force that had nothing to do with elegant cutting. It was just the force of the blade. Blade's not damaged in any way. Perfectly straight. But we did get our cut all the way into this one's jaw and into the other head. Let's see what we can do here.
And luckily the rest of the cutting is going to be single camera if we continue.
Yeah, we can probably do the double decap. There just won't be a lot
You
of
might
blood.
want to do the decap real quick because
Yeah,
the rain is
storm
starting
coming in,
and
but if
we
want
don't.
to check this out. We cut clean through this jaw, all the way through here, and believe it or not, our spine got cut halfway through, and our other jaw. Let's look at it real quick.
And then we're going to have to do this decap, and then we're going to have to get the cameras in.
What happened? We cut all the way through the head into the spine. It was angling down because of how much force it took, because it actually took starting the skull with it. If you see part of this, that's part of where the skull got cut, and it angled down into this, cutting into our spine and cutting into the other side of the jaw. This stuff is because the force was ripping as it went through, and it broke the spine and was still able to go through and cut into our other head. And this is a cut here. You can see it on the actual jaw. It cut up to the jaw, So this guy would be wounded, but this guy would be obliterated. Not bad at all. Let's see if we can still do the decap, because I think it's still plausible.
Try it quickly. We got rain starting up. And I'm sorry, but electronics and water don't go well together. Blades may, but electrical stuff don't. The decap, hold this onto this.
There's
one.
lots of blood in this thing.
This cap is where it's the most important one, so it gets the umbrella. You don't need to hold that one.
Oh! Okay, we cut the other head through. I hit the jaw area. So we didn't get the clean decap that we wanted. We can get a piece of spine for it. We will continue with our double decap. That was my bad, hitting a hair high. So our jaw stopped our cut. A little more good swing. Oh!
It does not want to do a double decap.
It does not want to do a double decap.
Just decap the dude so we can go and get this last bit done so we don't get rained on too bad for the cameras.
It cut into the spine though, so he is bleeding. But anyway, I think the sword being lighter is why it's not performing exactly like the Claymore. That is actually the truth. And he is now dead. Ha ha ha. I think it was impressive enough that I would be afraid of this blade greatly with big grandioso swings unless I thought I could time it right and get in on the man using it. And of course, someone skilled with a blade like this would make sure that the blade was recovering quick enough that your timing would have to be just right or you'd be eviscerated, pretty much. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed our video, and be sure and like and subscribe, and be sure if you get a chance to meet me at RealmsCon this year, because I will be there reviewing its fight choreography and a little bit of swordsmanship with Adrian Paul, the Highlander himself, Duncan MacLeod, from the Highlander series back in the 90s in the movies. Be sure and see if you can go to that. It's at RealmsCon. Check it out on Patreon. Have some information there about it, and I'm going to be giving out something for people who actually say that they were referred by me. And anyway, as always, farewell.